Thank you, Mr. Ramarao, for this brief introduction. Thank you very much. The introduction, what he gave, has nothing to do with what I am talking today. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time in my life I'm addressing audience of this caliber and the age group and the breadth and the depth of experience all of you have. Pardon me if I overstep boundaries in your area of expertise, please. I welcome you all to today's special talk, and I'm grateful that you are here, and we hope that this would be a significant time in your life as we talk and share together. Please underline the word significant, which I'll be repeating a couple more times. It has a meaning as for this today's talk. Today's talk is only 30 minutes, not more. After that, questions are welcome, but my knowledge is limited in your area of expertise, so I may not be able to answer your area. Let me make it very clear first that my talk has no bearing on any religion, spirituality, sectarianism, nationalism, geography, or politics. Zero, all of these out. I am neither a saint, a futurist, or a preacher or a teacher. I am a human being with all the human faults that anybody has. Let me begin my talk with a sloka from Bhagavad Gita. I am not an expert in Bhagavad Gita, neither I know Sanskrit, but I'll recite in my own words. Please pardon my expression. Bandhuratma atmanastasya enatmaivatmanajitah anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. For those who have not had Sanskrit background, many of you have it. Let me explain what it means. Conquer thyself, and thy soul is thy friend. But when a man does not control his own self, then the soul is an enemy. Little more explanation. When the body, mind, and senses are under perfect control, the divine nature prevails, pulls up the man. I'm using man in a generic word, please forgive me for that. Progressively, as he evolves into higher orders of existence. But when he submits to the base nature, or what I call 7 sins, all of you know very well, it ruins himself. This talk comes out of over 60 years of my adult life of personal reading and learning. In virtually every case, I learned from somebody else or somewhere else. One single incident that touched my heart, which enabled me to prepare this talk, is sometime back, myself and Ratnam attended a Satya Sai retreat in Chicago. There we saw a video of a lady by name Kathy Smith, obviously a Caucasian lady, who was actually diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, obviously. She did not condemn anyone in the video, nor did she ask, why me? Saw a lot of things happen to everyone. We always have a tendency to point fingers or point a cause or reason. But she continued to be a Bala Vikas teacher as she was, and bulk of the Bala Vikas teachers, students in America, they're all Indian students. She was one of the dedicated lady. I really admire. I didn't see her, only on video, just for your information. She continued to be a Bala Vikas teacher for Sai children, and she had intense faith in Sai Baba, absolutely. And she believed her suffering to be God's plan for her. That's how she went her. She did not accuse anyone. She passed away at the age of 38, few months after they diagnosed cancer. Very sad. So that touched my heart. All of us were asking ourselves, if not publicly, privately, life's most important question, what is the purpose of life? You will discover the answer to this question, like for example, what on earth I am here for? Why do I exist? Are you close to something higher authority? You will find out the answer to some of these questions, not all. As I talked this morning, you will begin to have a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose, a sense of fulfillment, hopefully. I'm not promising. A sense of adventure, hope and adventure. It is all about what you want to do in your life, not somebody else. Lord Rama descended to the earth in human form. All of you are much more knowledgeable than Rama than me. With one of the purpose of Rama was to kill Ravana as he acquired extensive sort of powers from Shiva. He was abusing them. All of you know very well. Most devotees and members of the temple, all of us, including me, again, whatever I'm telling, I'm including myself here. I'm no different than any others. They always read Ramayana, to reaffirm our faith and solace to the modern life of Rama. Even Lord Rama, most of you know, in human form, who had a purpose in life, had to face a lot of hurdles in life. What to talk about us, mortal human beings? Rama, being the son of the king Dasharatha, has to be sent to forest. Which father sends? Because of Kaikeyi, you know very well. And when he was throned as a king, because of one Dhobi, he has to send his pregnant wife to the forest. Again, these are all the problems of a life. Even those monumental people like Rama has undergone, so we are mortal humans, we are subject for these things. To answer some of these profound questions this morning, I chose to ask the question, what drives our life? I have labored, so we all often say, at least occasionally in our private moments, I have labored to no purpose. I have spent my life in vain, sometimes, not always. My life drags by day after day. My life makes no sense at all, sometimes, not all. Everyone's life is driven by something, for sure, some positive things. What is guiding your life? What is controlling your life? Is it your job? Is it your career? Is it your success? Is it your wealth or material things? Or all of the above? Or to enjoy life, to travel and lots of have faces to see and acquire material things? The tragedy is that so many people, including me, I just want to keep on repeating that. I am about nothing else. Live our entire life. We never come to learn or question our purpose for which we are created on earth. Everyone's life is driven by something, for sure. Okay? The key to life is for us to find our own purpose, not somebody else's purpose. Our own purpose, allow it to be our driving force, and going of our life. And that's very important. Because that is where you are going to find a fulfillment, not somebody else's. A joy, peace, and happiness. This is the centerpiece of my talk throughout in the next 25 minutes. Psychologists, I don't know how many there were psychologists here, tell us that we live our life at 3 different levels. Number 1, the survival level. Number 2, success level. All of you are successful people. You are not at the survival at all. All of you guarantee your success level, second level. The third one is the significant level. That is something you have to decide that for yourself. Nobody can say by looking at all. Let us look at the first through the survival level. Survival is the lowest level that none of you are, I know, can live our life. Some people barely hold on to their finances, their jobs, sometimes their spouses. Of course, I'm joking here. Too many of us put in our time hoping for the day off, for that wonderful weekend, TGIF. Thank God it is Friday, this American terminology. There has to be more to life than this TGIF. Did we ever ask that question? Many of us don't, including me again. I remember when a colleague of mine, when I was working at Dow Chemical Company, his name was Phil McCall, brilliant fellow. He was sitting right next to my cubicle in the office in Dow Chemical. One day he was diagnosed with brain cancer. Several weeks later, he passed away. He was 38 years at that time, very young fellow. I was 57 then. Again, it touched my heart. Guy sitting next to me just passed away within a few weeks of him. This type of unexpected and untimely event, as we experienced in the last month, 2 of our own colleagues can happen to anyone. We do not know what the future holds for us at all. Hence, each of us must try to initiate our path to the eternal life as early as possible. That was the question I was asking myself. There must be more to life than this. We just can't be here one moment and suddenly out of the earth. And if there is no eternal life, what do we look for? We must have value the time we have on this earth as we are alive, because where we can make a change in the course of action and corrections as we know, as we perceive, as somebody points out, very important. As we have a choice, because time goes by very fast. Many of us in our teenage years, we thought we can do anything, we can be anything. Many of you probably have done so, or if not, will so. Lord Krishna says this to Arjuna, many of you know. Thank you. Lord Krishna says this to Arjuna, all of you know this very well. If you ask the savior of life, you will find him. Last year, I read a true story of a person by name Miran Mazre. For 11 years, he was a man without a country. For 11 years, he lived on the street of Paris. He had no passport, no documents, no citizenship, no legal papers. He had been expelled from his home country. You can imagine what it was. It was Iran. He did not fit in their society. He was expelled. France sent him to England. France sent him to Belgium first. It was so close by. And Belgium said, no, I will send him to England. Because England said, we don't want him. They'll send him back to Paris. France. So essentially, finally, the Paris authorities said, all right, we'll give him a place here. So for 11 years, he kept on staying on the street of Paris. It's a survival mode. One day, something miracle happened. The French authorities came and gave him a French travel card, free to travel around France, anywhere, on train, not by plane, free of cost, and a French permanent resident card to stay there. And you don't know what happened when they came. He took that card, he just tore it apart. His life could have changed. So essentially what happened is he chose to survive. He survived, that became his home. So essentially, most of us are not there. We are. So essentially, he passed up an opportunity and chose to survive. If you keep on doing what you have been doing in your life, you get exactly what you got or what you deserve. Important thing, let me tell one. How many of you know Snoopy? Raise your hand. Snoopy? Okay, many of you. How many of you know Charlie? So good, very good. One day, Snoopy said to a Charlie Brown, I don't know if it's true or false, I picked up from the literature. Yesterday I was a dog, today I am a dog, and tomorrow I'll be a dog. So he said, I don't see any room for my improvement. Maybe some of us may feel sometimes in our own hearts, okay, not publicly, privately. But we can stop feeling, ladies and gentlemen, and don't feel lost or trapped. Absolutely not. Because the whole purpose of Lord Krishna, who came on this earth as in the form of a man, grown up in the Dwaraka, the land of enchantment, where me and Ratnam were fortunate to visit Dwaraka. Of course, many of you have visited. He came to give us, all of you, including me, life, abundant life, attain an eternal life of happiness provided through things in helping others. Very important, not yourself. Helping others and doing something positive in life to make change in the life of others. That's what he gave us. Too many of us are living our life on a survival mode. None of you are here. It's just a general talk, I'll do this. And some of us, many of you, or all of you, are at the next level, which is a little higher. It's called the success level. All of you are success people. Someone said, no generation has been so preoccupied with success and so focused to achieve success as the current generation, particularly the younger generation, not us here. Current generation is obsessed with success. Success can be evaluated in many ways, but for most of us, I would say, it is to desire to acquire more. The whole goal of our life, particularly for younger generation, can be summed up and centered on the acquire more, the bigger and the better, have the latest gadget, iPhone, iWatch. I'm just using examples here. As you know, as we all know, most of us, our self-worth is not connected to our net worth at all. They are not connected at all. We know. Our lives as a person is not determined by our valuables or what we think as valuables. The myth about more is that somehow more will bring more happiness, more fulfillment, more purpose, more security, but it does not. This morning I can share with you some incredible wisdom. I'm about to do it right now. I'm about to tell you how to make a small fortune from a big fortune. All of you have to do is take the big fortune and take a small fortune. Example, Anil Ambani. All of you know what happened to him. I'll give another example many of you heard of, some of you may not. How many of you know Ted Turner? Raise your hand. Ted Turner was he is still alive. Ted Turner was this, I don't know, I'm not sure. He was the chairman of the cable news network in the United States. When he sold his company to Time Warner several decades ago, 2 or 3 decades ago, he was $11 billion worth. Today he is worth $2 billion. You may say, oh my goodness, if I have $2 billion, good for me in dollars. No, that's not true. The one thing we all forget, that money, wealth, and possessions are maya, illusion, and drama, and can be lost instantly at any time. But what I am saying is, money and material things and wealth is easy come and easy go. We need to realize that he who dies with most toys and most money still dies. But there is another level to success which I am going to talk, some positive things. And that is people somehow want to leave a legacy. Many of you always we talk, I got to do something in life to leave a legacy. I'm sure you heard this more not from ordinary people, mostly from CEOs, politicians, prime ministers, and presidents. I got to do something in my 4 years of elected time. What they want to leave behind, they're thinking. What people are going to say about me when I leave my office or pass away. What will be written in the history of about me, or they put on the tombstone. Tombstone is simply a dust. It'll pass. It'll be thrown out somewhere. They want to be remembered when they're gone. They're driven by fear of failure. That somehow some people are going to look back at their life and say they didn't do anything significant. Very important. Underline that. What many people fail to realize, all the life's achievements, this is a very important statement I'm making, all the life's achievements will have been eventually surpassed, records would have been broken, and reputations will fade for sure, would have been forgotten, tributes would have been forgotten. Let me give an example. All of you know, one of the greatest cricket player, Lala Amarnath, all of you know. Amarnath, most of you know, he was the cricket captain back in 1952. And he was the first cricketer who scored a test century. This is based on general information, very well. And he was also the father of two other cricketers of his children called Surinder Amarnath and Mohinder Amarnath. And he was the first cricketer in the history who beat England, Australia, and most important, West Indies. West Indies is very powerful in those days, but not anymore these days. For that, he was awarded a trophy. Do you know what he did with the trophy? Most of us, even I have a lot of trophies, many of you have, put in our houses, in our office, which I did myself, I have. But he put it on his alma mater school. So it was there. Then several years later on, someone mailed his trophy with a note said, "Sir, when the school was being remodeled, I saw your trophy in the trash can." Very good. So I thought you may want to this. So he sent it to Amarnath's address. It was opened by his great grandson, as Amarnath was no more on this earth. Given enough time, all of your trophies, including my trophies, will be trashed by somebody else. All the things we are working to achieve will be discarded and thrown away by someone else at some later time and point. Very much so. Living to lead an earthly legacy is extremely short-sighted. Did you know that Tiger Woods, I'm sure all of you know, Tiger Woods was a golfer. He's a golfer, he's alive. Last year, he earned from his endorsements only $150 million, not counting his winnings. Tiger Woods is still wondering if the reason he's on this earth is to hit that little white ball with a club to go down in the history as the greatest golfer ever. Is that what I was created to put on this earth? The answer is no. What we are put here not to create an earthly legacy, but an eternal legacy, significant. What ultimately matters, very important, this one, what matters not what others say about us, not at all. Yes, you may think sometimes it hurts you, no question, but don't take it seriously. But about our reputation, what ultimately matters for each one of us, including me, are how we feel ourselves personally, very important, and satisfied, which varies from person to person, no question at all. To lead an eternal legacy, we must go from a survival to the success to this eternal significant level. That's what I'm going to talk today. We are created for the purpose to lead us a significant life and an eternal life by either Krishna or whatever you talk about. No one can transform us, any one of you, unless you are willing. Very important. You must have the will and desire. At this stage, I want to give another sloka from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan uvacha Jitatmanah prasantasya Paramatma samahitah Sitoshna sukha dukheshu Tatha mana apamanayo. Some of you understand already, nodding yet. No, more than me. I'll just put it translated in English. The Supreme Spirit is rooted in that man who has achieved the calm self-mastery, ever serene is he in the face of cold, heat, pleasure, pain, honor, and dishonor. All of us that sometimes have gone through this in our life, no question, clarity of mind is he, his own, who has established self-control, not one time, but every time and all the time, which we know difficult for human beings. I'll mention later on. Fluctuations in nature, fluctuations in nature, such as heat, cold, praise, and censure, do not affect that person, yogi, anymore. The purpose of our life is to have our soul reunited with that eternal, or in other words, our soul should merge with eternal. We need to realize that there is no difference between our soul and God. That's it. We are one, Aham Brahma Asmi. All of you know very well this one. We are always in a hurry. Young people are in a hurry. Old people are in a hurry. Both always look for the past and look for the present, future, but forget the present. We think the past and the present and forget the present. We miss the bus altogether most of the time. Always live in the present, live in the moment, and so life is not the past, not the future. Life is here and now. But the mind, human mind, this is all human nature, nothing to do with any one of us. Mind thinks about the past and the future, missing the present. I believe this morning, this one is very important, I want to mention, none of you are brought here by accident. You have been brought here for a reason so that you can find out for yourself, discover and discern your purpose of life. The purpose of your life depends upon you and your understanding of life and your surrounding. Through one at a time, I will repeat, worship, chanting, all of you do very nicely. I am very proud of your chanting. Charity, jnana, wisdom. Some of you do the charity, large bulk of it privately. I don't like the public display of that. Education, communication, public service. Absolutely, many of you are involved in your own way privately. That's good for you, etc. Again, these are just a few items. All are good paths. There is no one superior, nothing like that. Just because somebody did something, you should not do. Do what your heart desires in your own private moments. The right path depends upon us individuals, not on others at all. Others should not be dictating. You have to feel that is good for important for you. No one path is superior. Let us not be. Life is not about what we do or what we say. Depends upon what we are internally. Very important. Action and words not matter, but it is what you feel internally is the ultimate thing. We think we serve God by our outward actions, being a priest or a teacher, going to pilgrimage or touching the feet of a saint or going to temples or regularly. Let me hasten to add, all of these are very important first steps. I don't want to denigrate any one of them. Very important first steps, but they are not the end in all. What is the purpose of worship, or chanting, bhajans? It is to develop a firm faith in the existence of the eternal. All of you are doing very good. I'm very proud of you. Thankful to Girija Aunty. So, what is the purpose? So the true pathway is deeper than all these things. This is the first step. What we are being encouraged to make our religion external when it is within our heart. No question at all. When we go to pray, we think we are pleasing God in whatever form, because we can sing or chant, and this makes prayer an outward act. Indeed, when it is an attitude in the soul. Here, hence, rise from the body to the spirit, complex to the simple. The world is very simple. Matter is made up of atoms. Simple. Computer is made up of what? Zeros, ones. 0 and 1. That's all is there in the program. Nothing else. Algebra professor is doing it. And life is just 2O water. Very simple. We make it complex. It is us who are making it. So religion is not about what we do, really, but it is what we are again. I'm repeating the sentence. Most of us have a habit of mass following. This is again human nature, nothing unique, which works for someone by mass following. But in such cases, we are satisfying others' feel as it is good for them to keep a social company. Not at all. You should never do that. It is good. So essentially, which will bring inner harmony, will not bring inner harmony to you at all. Because you simply follow someone. Important thing to consider, what activities energize each individual. That's very important. It varies from person to person. Just do not do if you are doing to please someone else for social acceptance. This gives temporary satisfaction if you do it. But what we need is the inner satisfaction in the long term. Very important. A sense of purpose is one that can potentially change the lives of other people. That's very important. Again, I'm repeating, connect here, other people. Life is created for us to help others. That's all. To change the lives of other people, like an example, launching an organization. Some people have done it in their own way. Researching a disease, or starting a new school. For example, many of you have gone to convent school. Please raise your hands. See, how many of you, and those who have gone to, again, I'm not talking you, some younger audience say, when somebody say, oh, I went to convent school, they raise their shoulder. Then why don't we start another school competing with convent? No. The convent schools are the best. I don't know what they charge fees and everything else, but still many of us who want to go for that. Start such schools to do something positive for the society, for somebody else, for the next generation. Are helping elderly and disabled, as I have seen Radhika doing eloquently. Every day at 4 p.m. she goes down and helps such. This is the kind of thing, do in your own way. Don't do because somebody else is doing. That is pleasing her. And Radhika puts her Rangoli almost 4 to 6 hours. She sits there and does with a devotion and dedication. I can. So I'm just using an example of this. This is something done at the heart that is very important. So there is no one path. I want to tell you, every path is different for everyone. There are as many answers to this age-old question as there are people. But the point isn't what other people think the answer is. It is how you answer that question for yourself. Very important. So, for me, I want to tell you myself, I have chosen my life purpose is my strength in my area of science to impart my knowledge only those people who want it, not push their throat. Never push their throat. Somebody, hey, say, no, you offer it, those who need it, or those who ask for it. Very important. So finally, it is foolhardy to consider one purpose is superior to others. Not at all. All have an equal place in society, which makes the life very interesting. Before I complete, I want to recite last sloka from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan Uvacha. Thank you. Jnana Vidyana Truptatma Kutostho Vijitendriya Yuktaiti Uchate Yogi Samalostasma Kanchana. Again, pardon my accent is not correct, but bear with me. What this says is the content in knowledge and wisdom, his mind steady, his senses conquered, to whom a clod of earth, dust, dirt, or a stone, or an ounce of gold are same to that yogi, has attained the harmony with nature. The person, the yogi, is steadfast, who is satisfied with wisdom and the knowledge are what we have, material things, who remains unshaken, who has conquered the senses. So Sant Ramadasa, all of you know very well, once said, River Ganga is supposed to be very holy, and we all believe, including myself, no question at all. For that drop of rain that is coming to merge with the Ganga river, it has to be as holy as the Ganga river. Indeed, the drop that comes from the earth, from the skies, it is really pure. And essentially what it's saying is, if we are to merge ourselves with eternity, we have to be as pure as the eternity. That's why. So for us to merge in God, we also need to be in that state of purity, in that state of love, in that state of truthfulness, not once, not twice, all the time, every time, in private, in public. When we have full faith in the eternal, we live our life according to the principle, sweet thy will. Many of you heard of this. Then only can true surrender come to us into our being. We be true to him, God, whatever you call it, who is dwelling within you. If you practice the two virtues of life, number one, chastity or purity, and second, forgiveness. I want to add something very contradictory. Purposefully I am doing this. Please pardon me. Forgiveness to COVID care. Sorry, say that. Forgiveness to resident manager. Forgiveness to those little girls who are serving food to us. Please don't shout at them. So you will attain, with doing all these things, you will attain yourself higher consciousness. That's what is required. Complete awakening happens in us to the extent possible, and a perfect peace of mind. That's what. Thus, you will begin to radiate the peace, harmony, tranquility, those around you. That's very important. In summary, I'm just closing in 2 minutes. Let us all move from the survival through success to significant or eternal phase through our actions, not by words. Important, action proves everything. And your own heart. The path to attain the eternal is different for everyone, I mentioned earlier. Unless you are not true to yourself, not once, not twice, but every time, no amount of external religiosity or superficial actions will attain that eternal. We all are human souls, including me. We are at an advantage because we can make a change and make the correction during our lifetime. All of us come to close to 80s here. We have even now still time to correct ourselves. No question at all. We are all living so. Okay. In short, closing, each person has to decide for himself his own way to achieve that eternal through talent, experience, and the surrounding in which you are growing up. Everyone's surrounding is different. Remember, we rise collectively. Very important. Helping others. By lifting others, each day presents countless opportunities to offer a compliment or extend a helping hand to somebody. Simply be there for someone when they need. Don't overburden them. Very important. Embrace these opportunities, and together let us create a world where the small acts of kindness, saying thank you, kindness can become the foundation of positive change for all of us. I thank you very much for listening and for your patience. Thank you all.